Now let's take a look at how to do path animation in 3ds Max. Now a path animation uses a spline object to control the position of another object. So in this case, we're going to control this airplane using a spline path. Now the first thing I need to do is actually draw a spline. So I'm going to go out into my foreview, and in this top view here, I'm going to do a create shape line. And so I'm going to go ahead and just left click and drag, and left click and drag, left click and drag, and left click again, and then I'm going to go ahead and right click to end that mode. So now I have a simple spline, and if I want to, I can go into vertex mode here and change it. So I'm actually going to go ahead and move this a little bit and just kind of affect the shape of this so that it's the path that I want the object to move along. So I'm going to go out here into my perspective view and maybe make it kind of go up a little bit. So this kind of mimics the path that we had the plane on before. So now that I have this spline, I can attach the object to the spline to get path animation. And we can do that using what's called a constraint. In this case, it's a path constraint. So I need to select my object, and then under Animation Constraints, we have what's called a path constraint. So we select this. And what it does is it gives us this little dotted line, and then we hover over the path, and it will highlight, and then you left click. Now watch what happens in the motion panel. Here, the position has been changed to a position list. And in that position list, we have a path constraint. Now, if I make that path constraint active, you can see that down here, the parameters change how the object moves along that path. So now when I scrub, the object is following that path. So I can use these path parameters to affect this. So if I want to, I can click on follow, and now the object will always keep its nose pointed along that path. If I turn on bank, the wings will bank again to follow that path. And I can always control things such as bank amount and so on. And as you can see also that as the object moves along the path, it's basically moving from 0 to 100. So once it gets to 99 or so, or 100, if I go to 101, it jumps back to the end of the path. Now we can control this also by keyframes here. So with this path constraint active, notice how we have these black keyframes here, and these allow me to control where this animation starts and stops. So you can see when I move this key, the object doesn't start animating until I'm past this key. So I can actually move my start point simply by adjusting this key. And notice how when I get on this key, that the key shows up here in red as % along the path. Now if I want to, I can actually go to the path itself and edit it as well. So if I go into my Modify panel, select Vertex, I can select one of the vertices of this path, and now the plane will continue to follow the path no matter how I reshape it. So as you can see, path animation is a great way to create smooth motion through your scene. Now, when you create a path, you use a path constraint, which creates a controller that allows you to manipulate the way that the object moves along the path.